What's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan, and welcome to today's edition of All Elite Review. Where today, we're going to be reviewing the Pittsburgh edition of AEW Dark. They had 3 matches take place. Not in my car at the moment, and it's been raining pretty much non-stop for the last 2 days. And I'm doing this at work to kind of save time from doing it at home, so that way when I do get home I can just go right into editing this video, because I actually also have to edit this video. I have to edit the Charles to West Virginia episode of Dynamite. I also got an episode of Flea Market Hunter to edit, so I got a lot of editing to do. But that being said, let's go ahead and get into the matches. There were 3 matches that took place on this show. Basically a bevy of multi-mans. The first one was a tag team match between the debuting QT Marshall, who I'd never heard of, to be honest, the Librarian Peter Avalon taking on Dustin Rhodes and Sonny Kiss. Highlights of the match: Kiss with a split leg arm drag and a schoolboy for a 2 count. Dustin does some arm drags. Kiss hits a springboard lariat, which looked pretty good. Avalon with a nice scissors kick after QT grabbed a hold of Kiss on the apron. QT hits a nice superplex. QT and Avalon do a double suplex for a 2 count. Kiss with a nice enziguri. Avalon hits a super kick while Kiss is on the ground. But Kiss comes back with a lariat. QT does an elevated elbow, which basically pushed Kiss up into the air and then hit like an elbow strike for a 2 count. Avalon hits a body slam but misses the moonsault. Kiss gets the hot tag to Dustin, who hits his kneeling uppercut and a Manhattan drop. Hits snap power slams to both opponents and then a diving crossbody for a 2 count. Kiss hits a flying Frankensteiner and then a Meteora to QT on the ground, on the outside. Leva Bates got involved a little bit, but Dustin set her onto the top turnbuckle and basically went kind of mimicking them. Avalon tried to run at Dustin, but he hit Leva Bates instead when Dustin moved out of the way. And then Dustin hit his suplex into a twisting like brainbuster called the Final Reckoning for the 3 count and the victory. This match was actually pretty decent for what it was, which was just a mishmash of a couple of different competitors. I gave this match 2.5 stars out of 5. The next match was a Fatal 4-Way match, and it was a female Fatal 4-Way match, so kind of bringing some of the lady competitors into it. And I had said, I think the previous week on one of the reviews I did, that they need to start focusing on the women's division a little bit more. The rest of the women's division, I should say. Because, Riho and Dr. Britt Baker have already been established. And between this and what I saw last night on Dynamite, as I'm recording this, they are starting to focus a little bit more on the rest of the women's division right now, because they do need to determine a number 1 contender for Riho, because odds are they're going to be having all 3 championships defended at Full Gear. So, we need to determine that new number 1 contender. So, I think one of the ways they're doing it is with a Fatal 4-Way like this, to kind of get the ball rolling a little bit. And of course, in my rankings, a Fatal 4-Way like this is worth 5 points to the winner, which, as tightly bunched as the women's division is right now, that's a pretty big deal. But you had the bad girl Penelope Ford against Sadie Gibbs versus Allie versus Emi Sakura. The outcome of this match actually was a little bit surprising. We'll get to that in a minute. But highlights of the match, there were actually quite a few. Allie hit a diving crossbody and an arm drag. Sadie Gibbs also hits an arm drag on Allie, I think. Allie with a backslide on Sadie for a 2 count, and then a Schoolgirl for a 2 count. Penelope Ford hits a nice roundhouse kick and then a crucifix driver for a 2 count. That actually looked pretty good. And Sakura put the Romero special on Penelope Ford, which is kind of like the surfboard stretch, but I think Allie came in to try to do a pinfall. Only got 2 count. Gibbs with a nice backflip tiaras, which looked pretty good. Sadie Gibbs is going to be, I think, one of the big stars of this division for sure in the future, because she's got some skills. Right now, I only foresee Penelope Ford as being, fodder for right now. Basically a jobber for the most part. Gibbs hits a nice forearm shot, and Allie does a sunset flip for a 2 count. And then they had this like interconnected submission hold between all 4 competitors. Ford does like a front handspring shoulder block in the corner, which looked pretty good. And then Ford and Gibbs both do back handspring elbows. Both tried to go for pinfall on the same person, but they started like fighting amongst themselves. Allie does a nice sliding elbow drop kick combo, where she hit, I think Sadie Gibbs on the outside and Penelope Ford in the ropes. I can't really remember. Ford hits a nice tope suicida. And then Sadie Gibbs hits a nice Samoan driver for a 2 count. That looked really good. Allie and Penelope Ford hits a double suplex on Gibbs. Sakura with the running body splash in the corner on all 3 competitors. And then she hits a Vader bomb on all 3 competitors and got a 2 count. That would have been interesting. Allie hits her super kick. Ford with a nice DDT. Ford and Gibbs hit each other with scissors kicks. Then all 4 begin trading forearm shots in the center of the ring. Allie hits a lung blower on Sadie Gibbs, I believe, and then Ford hits a nice neck breaker. Allie tries to come at her, but Ford does like the Matrix move and then hits a stunner, which looked really good. And then Emi Sakura came in and hit a butterfly backbreaker on Penelope Ford for a 2 count. And then she hits a nice tiger bomb for the 3 count and the victory. So Emi Sakura got the victory in this case, which was wee bit surprising. But they might be setting up Sakura for a potential program with her student Riho. So that could possibly be interesting. I gave this match 2.5 stars out of 5. Finally, we get to our main event of AEW Dark in Pittsburgh, episode number 4. It's a triple threat match, which was a falls count anywhere match. Basically, hardcore rules. And of course, it's Darby Allin versus Jimmy Havoc versus Jack Evans. Initially, they had the bad boy Joey Janela against Jack Evans on Dynamite. But based on the response that they got from the Dark match, they decided to have a rematch on the previous episode of Dynamite in Pittsburgh, where the match actually counted. So there's that. And of course you have Darby Allin and Jimmy Havoc going at each other again. I mean, I realize that they do have a bit of a rivalry, but I mean, at some point you gotta let these guys, fight other competitors, you know what I mean? Instead of just facing each other all the time. But be that as it may, this was still a pretty damn good match. Because, you know me, I love hardcore wrestling. Highlights of the match, Jack Evans, of course, being his usual, flippy self with that springboard back elbow on both competitors. It's a nice rolling tornado kick where he rolled across, I believe it was Jimmy Havoc's back, and he kicked Darby Allin. That was actually pretty cool. Havoc hits his Death Valley driver and then a drop kick. Allin with an Okada roll for a 2 count as it starts raining heavier. Sorry if you hear that, but, it is what it is. Evans with a nice crucifix for a 2 count. Allin with his trademark shoulder ride stunner. And then a tope suicida to the outside, all in like one motion, which looked really cool. Havoc hits a suplex to the outside for a 2 count. Havoc backdrops Darby Allin onto Evans over the barricade, so they start going into the crowd and shit. Havoc does a nice somersault senton off the barricade onto both opponents. Allin hits Jack Evans with like this cardboard box, which was pretty funny. Evan does a suplex on the ramp on, I think, Havoc for a 2 count. Then Havoc does an inverted suplex for a 2 count. Havoc does a diving elbow drop off the ramp onto Darby Allin for a 2 count. And then Jack Evans hits a somersault senton off the stage for a 2 count. So these guys are just going crazy up near the stage area. Then they head back into the ring. Havoc does an outside-in suplex. And then Havoc does a DVD a Death Valley driver on Allen into Evans, who was hanging upside down. Evans and Allen do like a combination double stomp. Allen with a Fujiwara armbar on Jack Evans, I believe. And then Havoc hits a nice Tiger driver onto a chair, but only got a 2 count out of it. Evans hits a backbreaker onto chairs on Jimmy Havoc. And then Evans does a 450 splash while Jimmy Havoc is laying on those same chairs. Only got a 2 count out of it. Evans hits a nice running drop kick. They set a table up in the corner, and it looked like Evans was going to go for something, but then Havoc counters and hits an avalanche pile driver onto the frickin' table. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. And then, as if that wasn't enough crazy, Allen grabs a chair and does a coffin drop with the chair onto both Evans and Havoc, and pins Jack Evans for the 3 count and the victory. That was pretty crazy. Again, you know, having Darby Allin and Jimmy Havoc going at each other again, you know, it is getting a little bit old, but needless to say, this was still a damn good match. I gave it 4 stars out of 5. My final rating overall for this show, 6.5 out of 10. It was pretty good. Pretty solid. But that will do it for this edition of All Elite Review, our 4th episode of Dark. Next up, I'll be reviewing the next episode of AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite, which was in Charleston, West Virginia. And we saw the conclusion to the tag team title tournament. So that'll be coming up on Friday. So thank you very much for watching. And until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out. See ya. Well, that is all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, favorite, like, and subscribe to my channels here on YouTube.com and over on BitChute.com. If you would like to sponsor my channel, go to my channel page at subscribestar.com. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out. Have a good one.